Welcome to the podcast, Conversations with Kelly, and welcome back to the series, The Courts of Heaven Are in Session, where the accusations of the adversary are exposed and the authority of the blood of Jesus Christ is enforced. Today's case is the case against pride.
In the realm where spiritual battles are tried and verdicts shape destinies, one truth stands above every accusation. The courts of heaven are in session. The veil has been torn, access has been granted, and now every believer can come boldly before the throne of grace. This is your summons to rise, to listen, and to stand in the authority God has already given you. Here, we expose the enemy's claims, confront every lie, and present heaven's evidence on your behalf. Prepare your spirit, because your case is about to shift, your verdict is about to change, and breakthrough is already in motion. This is The Courts of Heaven Are in Session, with Attorney Kelly J. Adams.
In the court of heaven, the enemy is presenting his argument, claiming that because of self-reliance, independence, resistance to correction, and trust in one's own understanding, that he has the right to block grace, disrupt growth, and isolate you from God's help. But hear me clearly. Pride is not your strength. Pride is not your identity. And pride is not your protection. Humility is your portion. Grace is your inheritance. Dependence on God is your covenant. Today, we confront pride and legally overturn every accusation attached to it. So what is pride? It's not always arrogance. Often, it is subtle and socially acceptable. Pride is a self-reliance disguised as strength. It is the soul's attempt to protect itself without depending on God. Pride sounds like, I've got this. I don't need your help. I already know. No one can tell me what to do. I'll handle it myself. I don't really need anybody. Pride manifests as resistance to correction, difficulty receiving instruction, defensiveness, independence from accountability, trusting experience over prayer, refusal to ask for help, protecting image over heart. Pride often enters through past success, trauma that forced self-dependence, disappointment with people, being let down by leadership, fear of vulnerability, needing to appear strong. Pride is not confidence. It is self-protection, trying to stay in charge. Some real-life scenarios where we act in pride, it shows up in everyday life more than we actually realize. In leadership, refusing feedback because you believe your way is best. In ministry, operating on gifting without submission or prayer. In relationships, refusing to apologize, admit fault, or be vulnerable. In decision-making, moving forward, moving ahead without seeking God's counsel. In correction, becoming defensive instead of teachable. In success, trusting experience more than God. In struggle, refusing help because you don't want to appear weak. In faith, depending on yourself instead of surrendering control to God. Pride often looks confident, but it quietly blocks grace. And if we're honest, we have partnered with pride, relied on our own understanding, relied on ourselves instead of God, resisted correction, dismissed accountability, refusing to ask for help, protecting our image. And when this happens, the enemy responds, and he accuses us in front of God, saying, see, they rely on themselves. They don't need help. They certainly don't want your help. They resist correction. They trust their own understanding. They refuse to submit. They agree with pride. So I have a legal right to block grace. His intent is clear and always the same: to steal, to kill, and destroy, to isolate you, resist grace, and stunt your spiritual growth. Let me make this argument. First, I acknowledge that the adversary is correct in this. Yes, we have relied on ourselves. Yes, we've resisted correction. And yes, we've trusted our own understanding. And yes, we have avoided vulnerability. And yes, we have chosen independence over dependence. However, the sacrifice of Jesus Christ is not in vain. We make this bold declaration that the blood that was shed on Calvary paid the full price for pride, arrogance, self-reliance, and independence from God. It strips Satan of every legal right he claims to have to block grace in our lives. Your word says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. And whom the Son sets free is free indeed. Through the cross, the enemy was disarmed. Through the resurrection, his authority was publicly stripped. What he is attempting now is not lawful access, it is a trespass. And because we are believers, because we have received the grace of the cross, and because we are covered by the blood of Jesus Christ, Satan must stop. Therefore, every claim rooted in pride is illegal. Every accusation resisting humility is dismissed. Every barrier blocking grace is removed. Righteous judge, withdraw Satan's claim of rights concerning pride. Issue a cease and desist order against self-reliance and arrogance. Restore humility, teachability, and dependence on God. Reestablish grace where pride once blocked it. Soften our hearts to correction and instruction. We renounce pride. We break agreement with self-reliance. We humble ourselves before God. We receive grace. We welcome correction. We choose dependence over independence. If you have made these declarations and come out of agreement with pride, allow me to leave these few scriptures with you, James 4:6. But he gives us more grace. That is why scriptures say God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. Proverbs 16:18, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. 1 Peter 5:5-6, clothe yourselves with humility. Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand. Micah 6:8. What does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God. Philippians 2:3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. Heaven has heard our petition. Pride has been dismantled. Grace has been restored. Lower the walls. Receive the grace. Depend on the one who gives strength through surrender. Court is adjourned.